So I just watched Detective Pikachu. Before I go any further, spoilers. So I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan of all, so don't talk to me like I actually know like what the heck I know with everything. But I would rate this movie to be very good, maybe out of like a 7 or 8 range out of 10 because it certainly did well like taking what's already there and to turn it into, or not turn it, but make it into like a different direction, right? Like when they were making like a Pokemon movie, I was like thinking, oh, they're gonna go with like the original, like the TV show with like Ash Ketchum and all that. Yes, I used to watch those shows, but no, they made it to a different direction. Instead of like your average Pokemon show, TV movie, or whatever, they made it different. And the most iconic Pokemon of all is Pikachu. And Detective Pikachu was just the name, and then watching it was completely different. I didn't think of anything, but this movie did do very well on its own, and it should have been hyped up more than what it should have been because I wasn't that too much hyped. Like I knew some of the names of Pokemon: Pikachu, Snorlax, Squirtle, um, it's Geo something. It's the big rock guy. Um, Mewtwo, Charizard. What's his name? Like you see, like I don't know everything about Pokemon. Nor like I don't have the cards. My cousin did when we were kids, and he would just like love just to battle me and all that. And I just like I just do my best with the cards and everything, but. Yeah, the story goes as frick. I just like watched this on a Saturday, and I'm making this on a Sunday. Like, and I just forgot like the name of the characters, but the protagonist. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna say this. So the protagonist, goes to well, the whole general idea of this movie is just the protagonist, has some issues with his father that was never there throughout his whole life. That when he was a kid, he lived with his grandmother, but he decided to either go with his father to stay with him or to stay with his grandmother. But in this time, there's like a new age of Pokemon and humans that they should just work together instead of Pokemon and a trainer and all that. So yeah, this is like a different concept, but nonetheless, the protagonist's father has a partner, which is a Pikachu, which is Pokemon. Well, a Pokemon, which is Pikachu. I said that wrong. I flipped it. But yeah, we go. Not we. The protagonist discovers this. Oops, my phone. Protagonist discovers this. Discovered that his father was dead. But he really didn't care about that because he wasn't there like throughout his whole life. So he worked in the police. Oops, my fingers on the police station, and I don't even know the name of the city. Like I just watched this once, so I can't remember. So I can't expect myself to remember the whole thing. So, anyways, the officer or commissioner or whatever that worked with his father or like that knew his father gave the protagonist his father's keys and everything. He went into the apartment that the protagonist's father lives, and so he stopped by this news reporter girl and everything, and then he went forward in, and then he discovers this purple vial. I should have just said this in the beginning of the thing, but before all this happened, there is the intro of the movie is that Pikachu was zapping some things until Mewtwo was in this chamber or something to keep. It's not like a cryomagic chamber, but it's just like a liquid form type of like chocolate chamber to sustain him or something. But it was to like not really break him free, but it did set Mewtwo free. And then there was a car that was driving out of the facility that Mewtwo was in, and then he destroyed the car. The car flipped over. And that's when Mewtwo pops up and uses ability, and then it cuts off to the protagonist there. So the protagonist discovers this purple vial stuff that was that was in his father's desk and everything, and he opened it, and what was in it, it turned to the Pokemon who inhales this purple gas into like it's not raging, it's just like it's not like their killer instincts, it's just like they turn them mad crazy and everything, and they'll just go wild and loose until the effects wear off. And then Pikachu was there, but that Pikachu was the protagonist's father's partner, and that he was the only one that can understand Pikachu because, you know, he talks just regularly. Going on and on, they like figure out they both decided to work together and everything to find out that because technically that his father didn't die, like he may fake this death or fake the crash and everything. And then the protagonist was like on board, like ready to go. Well, not exactly, but it's just how I'm telling it is a different way of perspective of how I saw the movie. So then they went with this reporter girl and everything, and her Pokemon. They went to the facility that Mewtwo was in because the protagonist and Pikachu went to this night fighting club or whatever, and that the announcer or whatever the guy's name is, he owned the whole fighting, the Pokemon fights and everything. He knew like where to get some of the purple wild stuff that can turn the Pokemon into crazy and everything. And it was the same facility that Mewtwo was in. So both the protagonist, Pikachu, and then the reporter girl and her Pokemon, they went over there to the facility, and they discovered that they were keeping Mewtwo here for experimentations, and that they were using how the purple vial gas was created was inside of Mewtwo's blood, that they sucked the insides of Mewtwo that turn into these purple vials, and when it's unleashed, it into this purple gas, and if any Pokemon inhales it, it's going to turn them, crazy. And they've been experimenting with Pokemons to to evolve on their best form of themselves as possible. And then many moments later, that Pikachu got really hurt, and then the protagonist found not Squirtle. It's sort of like Squirtle, but it has like a leaf on its back, and he crawls all fours. I forgot what's his name, and nobody, I swear, if someone's gonna call me out in the comments of what Pokemon that is, I'm gonna freaking, I don't know, okay? I just don't know every single Pokemon, so don't expect me to know what it is. They were looking for, they went to this place that these Pokemon led the protagonist to find a way to heal Pikachu. And then they had him place Pikachu on this rock, and then the Pokemon's left, and the protagonist was like really upset to for them to help him find someone to heal Pikachu. And then Mewtwo shows up, and then he brings back the memory of both, or not both, but just Pikachu, because Pikachu, I should have said this earlier too, that Pikachu suffers from amnesia, like he doesn't know too much about who he is and about his father as well, due to the crash that I said earlier about the facility was Mewtwo in. So they showed a little bit more about the crash and everything, about what happened to the car until Mewtwo was captured by sort of the antagonist's son, which really isn't. The antagonist, I don't know the dude's name either, but he blames his son for doing all the dirty work, for doing making more of the purple vial stuff to unleash the craziness in the Pokemon. So yeah, it's whatever. So what was it? They had Pikachu and then protagonist had a little bit of conflict about what happened, what they saw. I don't know. I don't remember what they saw exactly, but it led to Pikachu not going with the protagonist because he thinks he'll betray him. Until the protagonist went with a reporter girl and her Pokemon back to the city. Until the protagonist went to this guy who knew the protagonist's father, and turns out he was the antagonist. That he captured Mewtwo, and to basically switch his mind and put his mind, subconscious and everything, in Mewtwo's body, and then and yeah, he just switches. He just puts his subconscious in Mewtwo's body. Then he took control of, has control of Mewtwo's powers and everything. And then Pikachu saw where exactly that he could remember about the crash that he was in with the protagonist's father, and that something about that. Then he went to the city as well, and then the antagonist now, who's in Mewtwo's body, made a plan to unleash like all this purple wild stuff that makes Pokemons go crazy. He unleashed that, but also in Mewtwo's body, he has the ability to to merge both the Pokemon and the humans. I think if they sniff the purple gas stuff that makes the Pokemon go crazy, he has the ability to do that. And then until Pikachu comes and kicks Mewtwo's, the antagonist inside of Mewtwo kick his butt and everything. Until it bought enough time for the protagonist to get rid of the headpiece that the antagonist was wearing and Mewtwo was wearing, for them to order to have the antagonist to put his subconscious into Mewtwo's body. He took that off and everything, and then right after that, freaking the Pikachu and the protagonist had a little bit of a heart-to-heart moment until Mewtwo came. And then he undid what happened. He separated the Pokemon and the people that they were together, shifted into one. But yeah, they did that. He did that, and he reversed the purple gas effect and everything that was spreading across the city. He reversed that until the protagonist asked Mewtwo about his father and everything, and Mewtwo told what really happened about his father. Well, he doesn't talk exactly. He just talks telepathically with his mind and everything, and it shows throughout the whole scene. Pikachu and the protagonist's father was meant to set Mewtwo free, and that they faked the crash. The protagonist's father faked the crash, and that he didn't survive the crash, but Pikachu did. And then Mewtwo telepathically was talking to Pikachu during that crash, saying that he has shown him much kindness, and that not all humans are evil, and that Mewtwo put the protagonist's dad's subconscious and everything into Pikachu's body, even though he will have no memory of who he is and everything. But Mewtwo told him to go to the house of the protagonist's father. He wiped away his memory to put the subconscious and everything of the protagonist's dad in Pikachu in order for him to survive. And then Mewtwo separated both of them, and it cuts off to the protagonist talking to his father, which is freaking Ryan Reynolds. I'm so glad Ryan Reynolds was the voice actor for Pikachu. I felt like that was a good choice of a voice actor. Until Pikachu is just back to where he was, just saying Pika Pika, and then the protagonist's father and everything, they have a little bit of a heart-to-heart, and then the protagonist decides to stay with his father and give this cop work a try and everything. and yeah, and it all went really well. So to rate this, I wanna go back to what I was saying earlier. I would rate this like an 8 out of 10, maybe, because I feel like there could have been some things still, like Pikachu could have like a training session with like the protagonist, you know, to be a little bit fun to know how to work with the powers. But yeah, it was kind of really interesting, and it did had a good twist into everything. A little bit of cliche on some of the moments, but all at the end, it was pretty funny. It was pretty good. It was great. It had some good moments and bad moments. It was an all-around good film. And yeah, I want to know what you think down below, if you watched Detective Pikachu or not. If you did, let me know what's your favorite part or what's your sad part. Any moment that you liked it about the movie, let me know in the comments below. And sorry about a huge chunk of uploads that I did today. Gotta take that down by a little bit. I know I don't want to go past my limits of videos, but yeah, my name is Senegos239 or Jordan, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.